Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of our podcast. And we have a very interesting topic that's been thrown at us this morning, or today, I should say, which is should you have a finger in every pie? Well, we've decided we can take this in a number of different directions. We do have a pie shop owner amongst us, but it's actually really to talk about the idea of how involved you should be as a business owner in every aspect of your business, but also how involved you need to have with various consultants in different areas, and indeed even your management and staff, how much involvement they have in different areas and overlapping parts of the business, and whether everyone should have defined roles. So there's a very broad subject matter to cover here, and certainly from a marketing perspective, I know that it's not about having a finger in every pie, but it is about having an understanding, a strategic understanding of what is going on and what the business direction is, because otherwise you can't allow your marketing to flourish, because it is going to have an influence everywhere you go. So that's the kick us off. Al, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, from technology point of view, as with marketing, you need, and it depends on the size of the business, but as a business owner or CEO, you need to have a good grasp of your strategy and where you want to go. But you can't really stick your finger in this pie too deep, because it will take you away from what you actually need to do, and that's running your business. So as with any area of your business, I believe it's better to find someone that can help you with their expertise, especially in technology. Ďure?
I want to quote, first of all, one of overseas comedians who used to say that it is good to know everything, but not do everything. So my take here as a business owner, I agree with Anthony that you still need to have a strategic view from the high level and high level overview of every process or every system or every function of the business, but not getting into the essence of it, not getting into details. Otherwise, as you, Al, said, you are getting distracted from your strategy, and you get into details and you get into tactics. Yeah.
Look, I think what everyone said so far is very accurate and very kind of spot on. The old adage of working on your business versus working in your business is always a kind of an important analogy for everyone. It becomes a difficult issue in when you look at manpower or what your resources are or what's available to you, and then kind of matching that with the funds. I think off the top of my head, I think it was Richard Branson that said always know what your cash position is, or what your cash flow situation looks like, because that's so it's such an important thing for any business. So from a finance point of view, I think having the knowledge of what's going on in your finances, and especially in your cash flow, is incredibly important. Anthony?
Yeah, I think what we've got to define here is there's a difference between understanding and doing. And so one of the interesting things I know is that, the big supermarket chain Aldi, before you rise up the ranks and do whatever role it is, they, make sure that you've tried everything. So even if it's for a couple of weeks, that you know what it's like to stacking shelves and moving up through the ranks before you even rise right up to the top of even CEO. And I think there's a number of big businesses where that is similar. And I think it's good to have an understanding of everything, but you don't need to be doing everything all the time, and you don't need to be the expert all the time, I think is the main point, Ďure.
From the perspective of the processes and how to have control and overview of every process or every function in the business, it is a subject to correct measurements and KPIs of every functions, where you need, as a business owner, as a high level, as a leader, you need to see just the key performance indicators to see what's going on with each process. But it doesn't sometimes really matter how it's done. It's 80% done by someone else is 100% awesome, right? And another point of this, or another side of this medal, sometimes, especially with the finance, you may want to have a second opinion, because even high level may not be 100% accurate and true. And we all heard these stories.
I want to give an example of how we, in one of the companies that I worked in the past, I was the CIO back then. And to get familiar with how the business operates, it's actually get involved in a bit of doing stuff, but just in order to learn. So we had a help desk that customer used to call in, of course. So we did an exercise that each one of the executive team set 1 hour as an help desk person to receive call and answer calls. So that's why we got an understanding of what the help desk people are experiencing and how we can improve the processes around the help desk. Just an example, an exercise that every business can do.
Yeah, and I think it's also important to realize that there's probably a lot of people listening here that are solo entrepreneurs, and it's easy to say, oh well, this is irrelevant to me because I've got to do everything. But in fact, if you actually look around, most solo entrepreneurs as well have suppliers, have partnerships that help them deliver what they're doing. There are some, of course, that are wrapped up in absolutely everything, but even then, whether you've got a bookkeeper helping you out, that means that you're bringing in these experts. Certainly amongst us, I know I do the outsourced marketing strategy, where a lot of businesses come in and do that. And I think that's important to think about, that there is a way to, without necessarily having this massive team all of a sudden, that's not practical for a lot of business owners. There is a way to bring in the experts. So whilst you have a finger in every pie, you're not really in charge of each of those, that you've got the expertise around you to help deliver that. So I think there's a bit of a balancing act between there.
Yeah, I think just to add on that, it's I think what business owners need to learn first thing is how to let go or how to delegate. And this is very hard, at least at the beginning, but it's something that you need to go through and learn through times to be able to manage your business more efficiently. Yeah.
Look, I think it's very important. One of the key things that I've learned from a lot of business owners and from myself as well, in terms of the work I've done in the past, is you need to know when to stop. You need to know when do you know enough and when do you know too little to be dangerous. And I think that's the key point, is finding that, and that changes in every aspect of the business, whether it's finance, whether it's operations, whether it's marketing, whether it's sales, all those things. You as a business owner, you need to know, hold on, I know this much and I can stop there. Then I need to get professional help in order to grow that further, or is it at a stage where I'm happy with it and I can concentrate on other things as well? Yuri?
That's just another view on all three statements before, but it is a matter of finding the right balance between management and control, and getting ourselves as a business owners staying away from the micromanagement. At some point, at some situations, it is important. For example, when we onboard new people, but when we onboard professional consultants, professionals to help us, it is so easy sometimes to get into detailed level that the whole idea is wasted. Anthony?
Yeah, I think there's a difference, isn't there, between the knowing what is being done versus how it's being done to the level of detail. And I think, certainly I know when I work with my clients, it's very much about, giving them tips and making them understand what can be done. But sometimes the how is best left to the experts. And I think it's fighting that balance always. And that is a bit of the challenge, is for being strong enough to draw that line between different elements. So before we finish up, I think we can't not turn to our pie owner and say, having a finger in every pie. To our Pierre, you've bought into a pie shops. You've been in the business for a short period of time. Have you literally had a finger in every pie?
Anthony, yes. So in the short term, I've had to, just because of to make sure that everything's there. And I think it's one of those things like Eyal mentioned as well. It's about getting down and doing every single job and knowing how to do every single job, so you've got an understanding of what actually happens in the processing or in the operational side. From that point of view, it's important to do everything, but it's important to not keep on doing everything and kind of finding the right people to help you out at the right time. So otherwise you can get quite overwhelmed quite quickly, which is kind of a really strange situation to be in. So yeah, if you need my opinion, if you need help, ask someone. Just reach out and ask someone.
Which of course is why we are all here to help. And of course, Pierre, goes without saying, you actually do have to have a finger in every literal pie to taste it, right? You've got to know that it's any good.
Quality assurance.
Yeah, quality. Absolutely. Well, thank you, everyone. That was a really fascinating discussion. And we do continue to welcome the questions that you're sending through to us each and every time. And, if you need some help and you want some expertise, we're here to provide that assistance for you. So we look forward to you joining us next time.